Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the 615 Preps Scoreboard presented by Fifth Year Technology Concepts. Chris Brooks with you on this Saturday morning. Nice and cool around Middle Tennessee, but we'll take it. And let's go 3Y this morning. I got Joe and Scott with me. Cam is off at a fall wedding, which we all know is a no-no around these parts. But
You look at what I've got down there.
Yeah.
Of all weekends too, man.
Yeah.
Just shameful.
Yeah, he's hurting, but he'll be all right, and we'll have him back on Wednesday night. Morning, guys. It's one more week to go in the regular season after last night, and some results we didn't quite expect.
No, absolutely not. Definitely some head scratchers, some that we knew were coming, but just not this week.
Yeah. Yeah, and the playoff picture gets a little clearer in some spots and a lot cloudier in others, and we'll go over that too this morning as we've got those updated standings and the brackets as they currently stand right now, which are always subject to change. But we'll go through those as we go through the scores this morning as well.
Chris, do you feel like everything that you did Wednesday night came undone this week?
Well, I mean, in parts it did, and in other parts it didn't. I mean, it's a little clearer in some spots and a lot muddier in others. But we kind of knew that would be the case with some of these games that could have gone the way that they did. So,
right.
The good thing is this morning I actually woke up and double checked everything, because when you're doing these at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, things get a little loopy.
Right.
So double checking work is always a good idea. Well, let's dive into some scores, shall we? Scott, you were over at Antioch last night with that Smyrna Antioch game for the Region 5-6A title. Let's talk about that one first before I bring up the scoreboard.
Yeah, so a really electric atmosphere there. It was their senior night. A lot of excitement early. A lot of people there for that game. Antioch very excited for the opportunity to try to, this is a team that went 0-10 for the last 2 years, and here they are fighting for a region title. On the other side, though, you can't count out the Smyrna, a team that a lot of people had counted out after the first 3 or 4 weeks. They were 0-4. They've gotten their fans excited again because they had a chance to get back to a winning record because they've rolled off 4 in a row. So the game was very meaningful for both sides. It was aside from the region championship, which of course was the ultimate goal of winning last night. It started out. Oliver Martinez started scoring off with a 28-yard field goal, put Smyrna up 3-0. The Antioch did a really good job running the ball against that tough Smyrna tough Smyrna defense. They actually found room to run. Kobe Coffey is just he was just motoring last night. He gets a 5-yard run with in the second quarter to give Antioch their first lead. Did a good job of making cuts, reading his blockers. Really kind of frustrated the Smyrna defense there in the first half. Andrew Adams gets into the mix. He runs quarterback draw with a tremendous spin move, goes 26 yards, and Antioch's up 14-3, and Smyrna's wondering, what's happening. And then they compounded on the next drive. Melvin Cousins picks off a deflection and goes 53 yards, and all of a sudden Smyrna's down 20-3 with 4 minutes left to go in the second quarter. And give them some credit. A lot of teams might have folded but Coach Williams had them settle down. They started passing a little bit, move the ball down the field, and with 45 seconds remaining in the half, Austin Morris hits Tyreek McCarver in the corner of the end zone with just an absolute dime. He just dropped it right in there, and that really turned momentum, because now they go in down 20-10 instead of going down 23, and they get on the board. But they come out in the second half. Antioch looked great. Drove down the field despite having starting back in their territory because of some penalties, but drove down. But then the penalty bug bit them again, and it took them out of field goal range, kind of stymied the drive. They end up kicking back to Smyrna. Smyrna drives it down, and Morris this time finds Michael Robinson behind the defense in the end zone, and all of a sudden it's a 3-point game, and we're only, we still have 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. But once again, Kobe Coffey puts Antioch back in the lead early in the fourth quarter with a 6-yard run, and things are still going Antioch's way. But immediately after that, Smyrna gets to going, and I tell you, what they had found and the adjustments they made in the second half really was a going away from just the running game to going to a short passing game, lots of slants, lots of flares, using that as using the running backs as a decoy, and it allowed them to move the ball down the field. This offense looked like a good offense. It moved like a good offense. This is more than just a defensive team. They drive down. Thomas Jones gets a 16-yard run, gets them within 2 points, 26-24, and then Antioch has what they can't have. They have a short possession. They end up kicking it. Smyrna gets the ball near midfield, and with a minute 56 left in the fourth quarter, Thomas Jones gets his second of the game. That puts Smyrna up 30-24. Antioch gets a good field position, is driving, but as the clock is under a minute, once again, Michael Robinson, for the second week in a row, seals a victory with an interception.
Smyrna wins that 30-26. Didn't have highlights in time to get for this show, but we did have interviews that we had ready to go. So let's hear from all the particulars from the Smyrna side.
With Thomas Jones after the thrilling 30-26 win, region champions, locked it up. Rough game tonight, but you guys had to come back. What was it at halftime that you guys did different to take the lead and be able to hold it?
I think we came out at halftime. We played Smyrna football. We're known for defense. I think we only gave up maybe one in the second half, maybe two. I don't remember, but first half we started off slow. We weren't ready. We were playing around the locker room, playing around pregame meals. We wanted to focus. We took that 4-0. After the 0-4, we took that 4-0, and we was too high with it, so we had to come out and play like us.
Now you had two scores in the second half, right? Those were the big ones that put you guys up, including the game, what turned out to be the game winner. Walk me through that final drive with the clock ticking down. What was it like in the huddle?
It was calm. We practice every Thursday, 2-minute drill, different scenarios, and we're calm. That's part of the Smyrna football I'll be talking about. We're calm under pressure. We're used to these tight games and big situations, and we know how to fight. You guys started off a little bit slow this year. Was there a time that you guys ever got down? No, sir. We always had our heads up. We always, week by week, we don't think ahead. We don't think about the past. It's week by week. So we just beat Antioch. We'll live on it for 24 hours. It's Cambridge next week.
Yeah, you guys, you come in. It looked like in the second half you guys opened up the passing game a little bit. Was that something the coach had seen and made adjustments to at the half?
I believe so. I believe we started seeing them bite more on the run fakes. So faking me, flash me across the middle. All the linebackers coming down, dumping right over the middle. It was open every time.
Yeah, that sounded like an adjustment that had a lot of success.
Absolutely.
Region champion after having a rough start and had all that graduation, and you're the leader of this team now. What's it mean to you to be able to bring this region championship home?
It's great. When I came up as a freshman, that was the last time we won it. Before that, it was 2008. So to be a part of two within the last 20 years is something that means a whole lot to me.
Well, Thomas Jones, y'all are region champions. Congratulations. Good luck next week, and good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you.
Here with Michael Robinson after Smyrna's thrilling 30-26 victory where they locked up the region. Big interception to seal the game, Michael. Walk me through that.
I seen the ball in the air, so I just had to say go get it and end the game.
You go into the half down. What did Coach say to you at halftime to get you guys going in the second half?
Keep our heads up, and we was really playing against ourselves. When we fixed that problem, we was okay.
You had a score. I think the opening score of the game to get on the board after you guys had gotten down early. You had the field goal, but then you got on there that cut the lead in half.
Yes, sir.
Walk me through that.
Me and my partner right next to me, we ran a great route concept, and my QB threw an amazing ball. I had to catch it.
Now, what was it going into this week? All the talk was about Antioch and about the Cinderella season. What was it like on your side?
Just a regular playoff game, regular region game that determines the playoffs. So.
What was it? I mean, did you guys feel slighted in the least, or did you feel like you were sliding under the radar maybe?
A little bit. We had to pick it up second half, but when my dogs come with me, we gonna be straight.
Now, you had a rough start to the season. You guys are finishing strong.
Yes, sir.
What is that about? What has turned the season around for you guys?
I feel like we start coming together. Everybody's starting to buy in now. So if we keep doing that, we're gonna be okay.
Michael Robinson, big play, seal the game. Congratulations,
Yes,
region champs.
Yes, sir.
Here with Coach Williams, big win tonight. You had to come back. What did you tell your guys at halftime when you're down 10 going in?
Well, I didn't think we were ready to play when we got here, so we had to fix a lot of the attitudes as far as, being ready to play. We put ourselves on the 8 ball, but very proud of our guys. I just told them to start doing what their coach to do, and that's what they did. Defensively, started getting some stops. Offensively, really started clicking, and I'm just proud of them. Proud of our kids. It's three games in a row we've had sort of backs against the wall, and they've answered.
What did Antioch do well that got them off going in the first half?
Well, they ran the football. I mean, Tim's a heck of a talented quarterback, but 5 when he was a really good tailback. And they got some good offensive linemen, 77, one of the biggest offensive linemen we've seen all year. So they ran the ball well against, put us in conflict with the quarterback pulling the ball and running it. And, of course, he's a freshman. He's one of the best freshmen I've seen in a long time. So they're talented on offense. It
looked like you made some adjustments at the half to go to a short passing game, which really seemed to work for you. Was that part of what adjustment you made?
Yeah, I mean, we felt like we had some numbers advantages there, and they were leaving some holes, and we were able to exploit that a little bit. And, we also started running the ball better in the second half. That was a big thing. Thomas Jones started running the ball better. Austin Morris, can't say enough about that kid because he ran the ball and threw the ball well in the second half.
You had a little rough start to the year, and since then your team has seemed to have grown into their roles. Is that something that you saw coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was a team that came to practice to get better every day. They never got down on themselves, and they believed in the message we were selling. And I'm just proud of them for their just character, their character and their competitiveness. They don't ever give up.
Now, Smyrna, region champions. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Good luck in the playoffs.
All right, yes, sir. Thank you very much.
The Bulldogs are region champs. Antioch's going to finish second in that region. It's tough for Antioch to give up a lead like that, but congrats to Smyrna. Their offense came through at the right time, and they've been peaking the second half of the season.
This kind of played out how we talked it might on Wednesday, right? Like we all picked Smyrna because they have the experience in these big games. Thomas Jones, like you said, they were region champs his freshman year. They've been second, I believe, the last couple of years. They've been right there. So they have experience playing in these big games. Antioch's not quite there yet. They will be. They're there. Yeah. I think they're there now. Their quarterback, Andre Adams, I've just seen some highlights. Kid is dynamic. Just the spin move for the touchdown on the one run. I mean, goodness gracious. So Antioch's not going anywhere. I know last night was tough, but I think it's one of those games that they needed to have to be like, look, we felt this. Next year, we don't want to feel like this again. We're going to be right there.
Their defense is we talk a lot about their offense. Their defense is actually very, very good. The 2 touchdown passes were absolute dimes that were dropped in. They were almost one was looked like a missed assignment, but the first one, I don't care who you were, you weren't getting to it. It was perfect. They will get there, and it'll be sooner than later. But the amazing thing is that it still looks like they're going to be in the playoffs. It still looks like they're probably going to have a home playoff game.
Yeah, in fact, they have to clinch that number 2 seed, and we'll look at that just in a little bit.
Yep.
Once we get through the rest of these scores. And Antioch using a lot of underclassmen too. That's the biggest thing for them going forward.
Yep.
They're going to get that experience and be in some more of these big games coming in the future.
Yep.
Cane Ridge gets their second win of the year, 17-14 over McGavock, and critical for the Ravens because they also too locked up a playoff spot with that win.
Cane Ridge missing the playoffs it just wouldn't feel right,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's it's good to see them, get back on the winning side of things. I know Coach Woods is is thrilled that their guys are going to get to play a little bit more football.
Still got something to play for because they haven't quite locked up their seed yet. They've got Smyrna next week at home, and the Ravens will try maybe to move up in that maybe in the number 3 spot. Stewart's Creek currently occupies it. They're 21-7 winners over Laverne. The Redhawks at 6-3, 2-2 region play. Laverne unfortunately sees their playoff hopes come to an end with that loss. They had played better in the second half and upset Green Hill last week, but just couldn't find the offense last night against Stewart's Creek.
Yeah, Javarian Ote, 72 yards and a score. Jared Taylor, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just a little bit too much running game there for the Redhawks against Laverne.
On the other side of that bracket in 6-6A, Brentwood shuts out Independence 28-0, and they are still unbeaten at 9-0. Independence falls to 5-4 with the loss, and it sets up a battle of the woods next week for the region title.
You could argue that this is Brentwood's most impressive win of the year alongside that Hendersonville win. I mean, this is an Independence team where traditionally, I mean, these two teams play each other within 1 score, and then Brentwood comes out last week. They're not looking ahead to Ravenwood at all, and they put up 28 points against a really good Independence defense, and the offense does its job. I was shocked when I saw how lopsided this score was, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Brentwood defense really told the story here. They only allowed 9 first down to Independence, 123 total yards. Turn the Eagles over with a fumble recovery. They had 4 sacks, limited to 1 of 9 third downs. They just did a tremendous job on defense against an Independence team that had been putting good points up ever since that beach game.
Yeah.
Indy will play for 3rd place next week. They're traveling to Summit for that regular season finale for that playoff spot. Oh, we're going to go back here because we're going to update this playoff picture for you. Region 5 and Region 6, you've got Smyrna and Antioch locked in the number 1 and 2 seeds. Over there in Region 5, Stewart's Creek and Cane Ridge will settle 3rd and 4th next week. Brentwood and Ravenwood playing for 1st next week. Independence and Summit are going to go for the number 3 spot. So kind of see those pairings as they stand now, assuming nothing changes. What stands out to y'all?
God, Independence Antioch 1st round. We kind of talked about that last night after our game, Chris, when we were walking out of CPA.
Yep.
That's a fun matchup.
My eyes on that Smyrna Summit matchup. If that holds, that could be a very, very good game.
Yep.
Good run, both good defensive teams. That one could be a slugfest.
Yep. Get back to some scores now in Region 7, 6A. Dixon County, a 26-6 winner at West Creek. They lock up the number 3 seed in Region 7, getting to 5-4 on the year. West Creek falls to 3-6 with the loss.
Yeah, this one really wasn't close. Dixon County scored on every possession in the first half. I think they had 4 possessions, grounded out, maintained time of possession, and just really ground West Creek out. Just a tremendous performance by the Cougars.
I believe it's an 11-year drought too that Dixon County snapped for postseason appearances, and they'll be back in the playoffs for the first time since 2012.
Wow,
good for them.
They've got Northwest next week, and West Creek will play Kirkwood. Important because Kirkwood won 29-20 at Kenwood to improve to 4-4 and keep themselves in the race. And Kenwood falls out with that loss. They fall to 2-6.
Is Kirkwood? They have West Creek next week.
Yeah,
I believe
West Creek. Yep.
Yeah, I believe that's a win and end game for both of them, if I'm not
It
mistaken.
would be. Yep.
Wow, what a big game up there.
And there it is. Still in contention. West Creek 3-3. The winners in between West Creek and Kirkwood. Clarksville, Rossview, Dixon County 1, 2, and 3. And then we look at Region 8, Germantown unbeaten. Houston 5-1, 7-2 overall.
That's brutal for them.
It is.
I mean, you have to go against that Memphis region where, I mean, Collierville, Clarksville, round 1 is. Ugh.
Yeah, but if I'm Collierville, I'm looking at that schedule and going, ugh, Clarksville.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Northeast, a 30-24 winner over Northwest, and the Eagles get their first win of the year in a battle of 2 winless teams up there in Clarksville. They're both
If
out of the
those guys-
playoff picture.
If those guys don't play for like the Golden Compass or something, I would be disappointed.
There you go. There's your trophy recommendation going forward. That is amazing.
There you go. And the one we were looking forward to, Clarksville won 28-7. That Wildcat defense takes care of Rossview. Joe's pumping his fist because he called that scoreline Wednesday night.
I did.
Yes, you did.
It had the makings of that where, they start off slow, but Clarksville's offense just kind of takes over late. But Rossview's defense isn't going to be bad enough for Clarksville to put up 50 on them. So it just made sense.
Well, this game was tied at the half.
Yeah.
It was tied at the half. And for the first time, Clarksville starters, I believe, played the whole game. I think this is the first time all year. So, it's probably a good thing. Clarksville hasn't won a region championship since, 2007? So, yeah. This was a big one. Dalrymple, 126 yards, threw a touchdown pass, and Maury Galbraith, 126 yards in the TD. Clarksville finishes strong.
On to Region 3-6A. Rockville gets a big win over Blackman, 27-22. The Rockets get a late score to take it, and Rockville now 5-4. They got a playoff spot locked up with that win. Blackman now has some work to do to ensure their playoff spot next week.
Yeah, this game had a wild finish. Rockville scored. They were recover an onside kick, and then I believe they scored with maybe a minute left, less than that. Just kind of a pretty incredible comeback from them to, if you're in high school and you get an onside kick recovery, that's pretty impressive.
Yep.
Well, Joe's all about the special teams.
That's right.
All about it. I would have been losing. I would have been losing my mind watching this game.
Good news for Blackman is they get Coffee County next week, who has mightily struggled this year. Rockville's going to play Siegel, and Siegel playing for its playoff life as well. Unfortunately, at the Stars, a 49-7 loss to Riverdale. The Warriors just keep on keeping on, and they're 7-2 heading into the Battle of the Borough next week.
Yeah, Braden Graham continues his assault on. He's 21 of 26 for 264 and 4 touchdowns. Brock Montgomery, 8 catches, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns, and one of them was just insane.
Yeah. Check out our Instagram for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that this morning, and I was like, did he bat that thing?
Batted it to himself.
To himself?
It's next level stuff, guys. And Riverdale peaking at the right time, right before the Battle of the Borough. Should be a great one next week over there at Oakland. And may have a little bit more on that later in this show.
Dude is a cheat code.
Matter of fact, let's go ahead and update those standings over there in 3 and 4 real quick, because Oakland, Riverdale, both 4-0 in region play. They're playing for first. Rockville's in. Blackman needs a win to get in. Siegel needs a win and a Blackman loss next week to get in.
Oakland Green Hill in the first round. Oof.
Yeah, and you already see Region 4. We'll see those scores in a bit. They got a little bit shaken up last night, and we'll get to those here in a little while. Beach wins 44-9 at Hunter's Lane. They lock up officially a playoff spot with that win. Really more of a formality than anything else. Bucks now 5-4 in the number 2 seed right now in Region 7. They travel to Springfield next week. Hunter's Lane will wrap up their year at Portland.
Beach pretty dang good when I'm not at their games. Let me just say that.
and they'll thank you, I'm sure, to stay away, Joe.
Like a good neighbor, stay over there. Page knocks off Centennial 24-12. The Patriots basically punched their ticket to a region title game next week with that win. Centennial falls to 7-2. They'll travel to Hillsborough, and their work's not done yet because they need to win that game to ensure a top 3 seed.
Yeah, this game kind of like Antioch Smyrna. We said it last week. One team's been here, the other team's new. They're new and shiny. And Page took care of business. Not sure how many sacks they ended up with, but they had 6 in the first half. So Eric Hazard did what he's did. Probably one of the best showings of the year for this Page defense, who you could argue is the best in 5A right now. They just took care of business. This is what they do.
Well, Centennial had shown that they had, that like you said, new and shiny. They are the powerful offense, but when you go up against a rock like Page is steady and at home, which that environment at Page is not an easy place to play at.
Yep.
That's this is what your result is. Don't count Centennial out. I mean, they'll bounce back from this, but yeah, Page. This was a tough matchup, and Page did what Page usually does.
So it sets up like this with Page and Centennial. Page wins the region if they beat Nolensville next week. If Nolensville wins, the Knights are going to win it. And then Centennial needs to beat Hillsboro to ensure that top 3 spot. Hillsboro can still get there if Nolensville wins and Hillsboro wins, then Hillsboro will be 3rd.
Wow. If this holds, that Nolensville Tullahoma game could be a good match.
God, yeah. Tullahoma, I mean, I know they're not technically in our coverage area, but what a turnaround for them.
Mm-hmm.
No,
right.
They win the state title a couple of years ago. They have a really down year last year under their new head coach, but they got things rolling now. They're pretty dang good. Next week's game against Shelbyville, if they were in our coverage area, that's one we could petition to go for. Because man,
exactly, yeah. Hillsboro no trouble with Glencliff, 49-0. The Burrows get to 6-3 in the season, and Glencliff falls to 2-7. The Colts will end their year against James Lawson next week. On to 4A scores with the Region 5. Greenbrier knocks off Creekwood 21-10. The Bobcats pull even in region play at 3-3. Creekwood now 2-7, 2-4 in league play, who will wrap up against White House next week. Marshall County 60-18 winners at Whites Creek, and the Tigers are setting themselves up for that big showdown at Pearl Cone next week, while Whites Creek falls to 2-6. They had some faint playoff hopes entering the game, but they're gone now, and they'll wrap up the year at Station Camp.
And Marshall County's just they're a juggernaut. And play the dangerous things, they're playing really, really well right now.
They got a really good quarterback in Silas Teat.
Yeah.
Speaking of Station Camp, the Bison win 44-7 and improved to 4-5 overall, 4-2 more importantly in region play. They're going to have that number 3 seed now with the win. Montgomery Central still searching for win number 1. They'll get one more shot at it next week against Greenbrier. Pearl Cone, they're ready for next week now. 56-6 winners over White House.
It's just every week.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like a pinball machine. I mean, their scoreboard just has to be, they're setting off scoreboards everywhere. Let's put it that way.
Especially at home now on that turf. Good luck.
Everybody's you got to change your light. You got to change your light bulbs out and keep them up when Pearl Cone comes to town.
Bring us in for just a second, and then we'll pull up these new standings in Region 5 because Station Camp's in the number 3 spot. Pearl Cone and Marshall County winners 1, losers 2. White House and Creek would play for 4th next week in a winner-take-all game there.
Good for Coach Spain and Station Camp, getting that situation, coming into that, as a new coach and or a new head coach there at Station Camp. Good for them getting that 3 spot there. Yeah. That is as much as you can expect with those other guys in 1 and 2 spot this year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. On the other side, Region 6, you've got Hardin County, South Gibson playing for. So Hardin County's got Lexington next week. South Gibson has Jackson North Side, and Lexington has Hardin County. So
Medina is a hard place to play. So I think that Station Camp South Gibson game, if that's how it ends up, that would be a fun one. Hardin County, White House. That's just a tough place to play. So I don't think this will be a sweep for Region 5A by any means. I could see I could honestly see it splitting 2-2.
Yeah, if the Firebirds don't roll through this one, it'll be an upset.
Yep, massive.
Matter of fact, I think Hardin County has locked up that 1 seed as well.
Yeah.
South Gibson's going to be
Really good quarterback there.
Yep. Liberty Creek keeps rolling in the second half of the season, 49-20 over Maplewood. The Wolves now 5-4. Non-region game for them next week at Wayne County. They're done in league play. They're going to finish probably the number 2 spot. Maplewood 0-9, yes, but the way this region is set up, they are going to be in a winning game against Republic next week for that number 4 seed. Speaking of those Trailblazers, they fall 45-0 at East Nashville. East Nashville finally gets to play on its home turf for the first time this year. They played 8 road games to start the year. Their home opener is a success.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now, if you're going to christen a field, you might as well do it with a human sacrifice. No, I mean, East Nashville has been rolling and coming into, I don't care who you are, you come into East Nashville when they're celebrating their new digs, it's not going to be pretty for whoever you are.
Yeah, I was about to say, can you imagine how those kids felt like not having to get on a bus and going somewhere, especially in this region? Like they got to just play at home.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine.
8 weeks of their, all their supporters having to travel if they can make it, and it's not always a given with work.
Saw Coach Patton, the boys basketball coach, sing the national anthem there. I'm sure that was just kind of a cool environment, honestly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Looking for another one next week too. Stratford's going to come in for their regular season finale, and East Nashville 7-2 can lock up the region title with a win over Stratford. On to Region 6 for a moment. Cheatham County wins 56-7 over Stewart County. The Cubs get a big win there for their region hopes, and 3-6 overall. That's their first region win, and it's critical for their playoff chances too.
Wow. Yeah, this Cheatham County team is they're young. They can, as it's proof here, they can move the ball. They're just young, and they're unfortunately one of the smaller schools.
Fairview sets up a showdown with White House Heritage for the number 1 seed next week, 32-14 over Sycamore. The Yellow Jackets, still perfect in league play, 6-3 overall, and they were right where they want to be.
Oh yeah. Chris Hughes has always got his teams peaking at the right time.
Region 5 and 6 work out right now. There is still a chance for some shakeup in Region 6 in those last 2 seeds. Stewart County, if they could win next week, would maybe shake that up. But right now, it's Fairview, White House Heritage for first. Sycamore currently in the number 3 spot, and Cheatham County occupying 4th. Region 5, it's between Republic and Maplewood for 4th. And then if Stratford was to beat East Nashville and Liberty Creek was to lose, if Stratford beats East Nashville, they would win the region title.
Yep.
And so East Nashville can clinch that with a win next week, and they would host.
Wait, would they?
Let's see.
No, because they would all be 3-1. East Nashville would win on the record.
Yep, you're right. This is why we don't do this stuff at 2 a.m., folks. So there you go. East Nashville in good shape, and we'll be hosting some playoff games for a while as long as they keep winning.
Yeah.
Let's move into Division 2. Lipscomb Academy gets a big win and moves a little closer to 500, 24-17 over Brentwood Academy. And Lipscomb might have found a little bit of offense at the right time.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
They got I can't remember the kid's name, but they got this 2026 kid that scored twice for him last night, and you got young guys like that scoring for you. Chris Thompson had a massive hit. Caleb Beasley had a massive hit. CJ Jim Colley had a pretty big interception. BA got a touchdown late to make it 24-17, but Lipscomb was never really in trouble last night. I mean, they just kind of rolled for most of the night.
Yeah, I believe the player you're talking about is Zechariah Kroc.
Yes. Yep.
He had 94 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Their defense, we knew that Lipscomb's defense would probably be the difference here. They only allowed 18 yards rushing. They did nearly give up 300 in the air, but that's all. But they nabbed 2 of McIntyre's passes, and they sacked him 4 times.
Yeah.
That's just, when you make a team one-dimensional, it's just easier to play. And when you have Caleb Beasley in that defensive backfield,
Yep.
you're just setting yourself up.
Yeah.
A big night, though, for Shavar Young. He had 10 catches, 124 yards for Brentwood Academy, but they just fall short.
Yeah. BA and NBA are going to tangle next Thursday night for playoff seeding between those two teams, and Brentwood Academy can still climb out of the basement in that region with a win and a little bit of help. But Lipscomb is going to host a playoff game in a couple of weeks, so it's big for the Mustangs at home.
Yep.
Matter of fact, let's go ahead and look at that right now, since that was the only region game this past week. Macaulay Baylor, they're locked into the top 2 seeds out of the East, and going to be going on to the second round there. MUS has the West title wrapped up. Answorth and Christian Brothers play for second. Briarcrest is fourth. Father Ryan fifth out west. NBA, Lipscomb Academy, Knox Catholic, Brentwood Academy battling for those other 4 seeds and just jockeying for position there to see how this bracket shakes out next week.
And NBA with a bye. I mean, NBA in that third slot in the East after the start that they had. That team, they're the team that nobody wants to play, I believe.
Yeah. Now, Lipscomb can get that bye if NBA loses and Lipscomb wins next week.
Yeah. Well, that's a big game for both of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, they're going to want that week off for sure. Back to AA. Davidson Academy, big over Good Pasture, 54-10. And the Bears, 8-1, and they're putting themselves in a spot to maybe have a good finish if next week falls right for them. But Knox Roberts just keeps on rolling for them.
Yeah, 20 of 31, 197, 3 touchdowns. Will Brees, 7 catches, 60 yards and a TD, 3 tackles. It was just a dominating performance for the Bears. Wes Harper had 2 picks in the game. Like you said, Chris, this team, this is a good team and a dangerous team. I think that they're prepared to make a run in the postseason.
Good Pasture, 3-6 right now, 1-4 in region play. They're going to be in the postseason. Now, the good news for them is they'll be in the playoffs, but they will be on the road regardless of what happens next week.
Right.
All right, to get some more highlights to show you, and Joe's actually frozen, so we're going to let him hop back in. And matter of fact,
hey, there's Joe Spears.
Just in time.
You see me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in time to do some highlights.
Cool.
Let's take you back over to CPA, because CPA and FRA comes into the game unbeaten, number 1 ranked in Division II AA. CPA has nothing but revenge on its mind after losing to FRA last season.
Yeah, so CPA opened this game with a long 6-minute drive that ended in a missed field goal, but FRA responds, touchdown there by Ty Clark. CPA with the immediate answer of Ross Patterson finds the hole, and looking like his older brother, she's gone. Big touchdown there for the sophomore. Again, crazy that he's only a sophomore. But turnovers were the name of this game right here. You'll see Rawls kind of break one out. He held the ball a little too high, though. Bobby Council will come in here. He'll punch the ball out, and FRA with a great spot to maybe turn some points here. But it was not meant to be. Leroy Harris tips it up to himself, picks it off in the end zone. This is right before the half, so we head to the half tied 7-7. We'll have an interception right here. This is how the half ends. It was just kind of one of those halves. A lot of penalties, a lot of turnovers. Neither team could find their footing offensively. This play, I think, changed the game, though. Jackson Matthews picking the pass off over the middle. He streaks down side, gets CPA within just great field position. They'll turn that interception into points, and finally get the field goal here right down the middle. CPA had 2 missed field goals in the first half. They got that one to go. Rawls Patterson again, this following another FRA interception to the house. His second touchdown on the night. And I think we'll have Cruz Law here breaking off a tackle, and he's gone. That'll do it. 24-7.
North Carolina commit Cruz Law here following the Lions 24-7 win over FRA. Last year they got you by a point. How nice was it to get this tonight?
Man, it was great. We remember that. We remember that loss all week. It's losing a game that you're not supposed to lose, and so it's just knowing you got to prepare in a different way. And honestly, like first half, we didn't come out the way that we practiced. We fixed it up in the second half. We played pretty good. We're nowhere near playing as good as we can, though. I think y'all are going to see us peak in the playoffs in a few weeks, and it's going to be a completely different team, even from tonight.
Last year they put up 39 on you. Tonight it's only 7. What's the biggest difference?
I mean, this defense, we worked so well together. We kind of found that. We found that at bits and pieces last year. We just got dudes everywhere. I mean, the dude that I play next to, Steele Chance, I can trust him with anything. Outside backers, they make plays. Obviously, our secondary is disgusting, and D-line obviously is nasty. So, they make it easy for us.
We all know about Ty Clark and what he's done this year. What was the game plan for holding him tonight? I think he finished with under 70 yards.
Yeah. So obviously we felt like if we could stop that, stop Ty, run up the middle, then that was gonna be it. And that's exactly what we did. He got some yards. He broke a few for a little over 10. We weren't worried about that. We knew that he's gonna have to break a lot more than that, and we weren't gonna let him do that. So that was the game plan.
You finished things off with that nice touchdown. Talk me through that play, because you bounced off the guy, and we were all just like, oh, okay, it's gone.
Yeah, so I was running the opposite way, and then just kind of saw an opportunity. Saw one dude there. I wasn't gonna let him tackle me, so I kind of hit him, spun out. Then Eli Dickey on my backside, the dude that lines up next to me, number 10. Great block. After that dude set me free, and then it was that. I had great blocks down the field, so it was easy.
Momentum going into next week against Davidson Academy. Good luck, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Joe here with John Wayne Oliver, Ole Miss commit, who anchored a pretty dominant running game tonight. You guys, especially in the second half, Rawls did his thing, Cruz had a couple. What changed from that first half to the second half, especially in offense?
Well, we just decided to run the ball a lot more, and we knew that they were tiring down because they got a lot of guys playing both ways, and that we were more physical than they were, and they couldn't hold up with us.
Obviously, last year probably still fresh in your mind against this team. They beat you 39-38. How nice was it to return the favor this time?
Oh, it felt great, but the job's not done. We'll probably play them again in the playoffs.
Just how kind of fun has this rivalry been? Obviously they have Ty Clark and Bobby Council. You guys have all your guys. Do you think these are the two best teams in D2AA right now?
D2AA, yes, I do.
How do you carry this momentum? Obviously, you guys, like you said, you're not done. Davidson Academy next week to, wrap up the region potentially. How do you carry this momentum into next week?
Oh, practice same way we've been practicing. We've been practicing so hard these past couple of weeks. Pearl Cone left a bad taste in our mouth. We didn't want to have that happen again, so we'll be ready.
Congratulations.
That's a grown man right there.
Huge.
Yeah.
Massive. Yeah, shout out to my laptop for just completely freezing there. So I'm on my phone now.
Yeah, but she came back just in time to.
There we go. But yeah, no, that was CPA football. I think we saw in the second half last night, not the first half.
Yeah, CPA's defense was relentless at getting after Logan Kennard and forcing him into some errant throws and bad decisions, and that really was the game because they turned him over 5 times, and when you're trying to win a region title, you can't have that kind of night.
Yeah, after that field goal, Braden Streeter had a decent night. He just missed on some long throws. But then once CPA got up and they're like, look, we're going to run the ball. They threw Cruz in there at quarterback. They threw Rawls in there. They ran out of the Wildcat. And FRA had no answer for that.
Yep. So it sets up like this. Davidson Academy will be going after CPA to try to win a region title. They'll need FRA to lose in order to make that happen. Otherwise, CPA wins it. And CPA 8-1 can get to 9-1 and would host the number 6 seed out of the East, which right now is Silverdale. AA bracket has some interesting characters, especially coming out of that East region. Boyd Buchanan locked up a region title last night, so they're going to be number 1 over there. And
are you seeing that potential second round matchup, USJ and CPA?
Yeah, that one. I think it's lost some steam.
Yeah.
USJ. USJ not the same team without Michael Stroop there. So.
Yeah, a little bit different. Look to the semifinals, though, because any rematch between FRA and CPA, as these things stand, would be in the semifinals.
I don't understand that. Why? Why would you put the 1 and 2 on the same side?
Yeah,
It makes no
Yeah,
sense to
that
me.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it really doesn't. But these are some of the things the state deals with brackets and all that good stuff. So
Weak.
yeah. Still, no CPA.
Wait a minute. I thought I was supposed to be the grumpy old man.
Oh,
Weak.
wow. Here we go.
Absolutely weak.
Now we know that Joe has a little bit of an in him. I think we've rubbed off on him a little bit. Scott, just tear.
I'm already feeling younger.
Let's switch gears to go to single A. Columbia Academy 62-0 over Mount Juliet Christian. Bulldogs are in first place in that middle region. Mount Juliet Christian plays for a playoff spot next week against Clarksville Academy. The winner's in and the loser is out. Here's the one that I think surprised some people last night. Grace Christian over to ECA 30-21, and the Lions can throw a monkey wrench into Columbia Academy's region title plans.
This was kind of billed to be the battle of two really good quarterbacks, and Kyle Davison and Mitchell Carey. But I think Davison comes out on top. He's 6 of 15 for 124 passing, but he had 162 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. Mitchell Carey, if the stat line is right, 5 of 23 for 103, 2 touchdowns, and negative 31 yards rushing. They had 5 sacks, including one in the fourth quarter. That was the safety that made this a 2-score game at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, that would do it. The sacks on the rushing total in high school. It's not like the NFL where sacks go off your passing total. So that would certainly do it. Nashville Christian 56-12 winners at Clarksville Academy. The Eagles 4-5 overall, 3-1 in region play. They're at DCA Thursday night in a battle for seeding in that region. We mentioned Clarksville Academy. They'll travel to Mount Juliet Christian for that win and in game against the Saints next week.
Jared Curtis, another 5-touchdown night, 209 yards passing. Caden Grigsby with a 70-yard punt return. I want to look at this quote, this post over here to the side that I did not know. Nashville Christian Senior Center. Thank you, Monty Hyder, by the way. Nashville Christian Senior Center Nate Thompson broke hand last Friday, cast his hand yesterday, and snapped a complete game left-handed with no missed snaps. That's a baller.
There you go.
If I had a broken hand, you wouldn't see me for a month.
I have to agree there, honestly, Joe. I'm with you on that one. Well,
I get a hangnail. I'm on the.
I don't know. If I had broken my right hand, it'd be okay because I would snap left-handed anyway.
Yeah.
Talking in general, it doesn't even matter with the snapping. You see me with a broken bone, I'm
Nonetheless, a big night there for Nashville Christian, and good for their confidence heading into Week 10's showdown at DCA. East Region scores: Friendship Christian 41-0 over Easel Harding. Commander 7-2, 2-1 in region play. They've got the Kings Academy next week. Easel Harding travels to Middle Tennessee Christian, who shut out Providence Christian by the same score, 41-0. As the Cougars now 8-1 overall and 3-0 region play. Providence Christian gets to host Webb School next week in a non-region tilt.
Yeah, I was going to say that Middle Tennessee Christian, their defense, they've not given up over 18 points a game, and that was to South Pittsburgh, and they gave up only 115 total yards here. Brooke Jones with 13 tackles and a tackle for loss.
Yeah,
and in the friendship game, Tyson Walcott just keeps on his assault on the record books there. 6 touchdowns in that game.
At Easel Harding in that 4 spot. Those seeds are locked up now. Middle Tennessee Christian 1, Friendship 2, Providence 3, Easel Harding 4. And we'll get Providence Christian will host that game against the number 3 seed from the middle region, so they'll be at home.
Wow.
In the postseason. They're playing all their home games in MTSU this year, too, so that's where that would be.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, Middle Region's Columbia Academy's to win. If Grace Christian does beat Columbia Academy, then it'd be theirs.
Nice.
So Nashville Christian DCA are going to fight for seeding as well. And like we said, Mount Juliet Christian Clarksville Academy, that number 5 seed goes to the winner of that game, and they'll be in the postseason. On to some other scores. East Hickman 22-19 over Harpeth. Harpeth 3-6, 1-5 in region play. They're out of contention for a playoff spot. They'll wrap up they'll wrap up the season next week at home against Hickman County. East Hickman 4-5 overall with that win. Eagleville in 1A, 33-zip over Richland. The Eagles, big win for their playoff hopes. They're now 2-3 in region play, 5-4 overall in region 5 of 1A.
Big night for Brody McLemore, 6-7 for 143, 3 touchdowns.
Yep. Eagleville jumps in the number 4 spot right now in region 5. Still some work to do, though. Ridgeland and Wayne County still have a chance to knock them out of that number 4 spot. Moore County's a region champ there. Collinwood and Cornelsville battling for second next week.
Moore County and McKenzie in the quarters would be a ton of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Now to some non-region scores. Gordonsville drops 1 to Bledsoe County, 21-14. Tigers are 5-4 with that loss. They'll play for a region title next week against Clay County. Bledsoe County 7-2 overall. They've got Oneida next week. Chattanooga Christian knocks off Pro Prep 27-20. The Knights, Elijah Robb, since he got hurt, has kind of hurt that offense. They're 3-6 now. And a visit from their old head coach, Justin Geisinger, will go back to Pope for the first time since taking over at FRA next week.
Wow.
An angry FRA team.
Yeah.
Oh.
Big night for Charleston County. They take care of business against Clay County 42-14, and they get to 5-4 in the season. Scott, I think it's the numbers there.
Yeah, Cole flipping Gregory, 16 of 203 yards, 16 carries, 203 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the ground. 9 of 17, 324 through the air, 3 touchdowns. Oh, and by the way, 10 tackles on defense, 2 for loss. Coben Calhoun, 6 catches. If this is right, 6 catches, 262 yards receiving, and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's
6 catches, 262 yards receiving.
Yeah, that is mathematically possible.
Yeah, they put it on Clay County in this game. In the last 2 weeks, Cole Gregory has just shown out.
Yeah.
That Calhoun averaged 43.7 yards per catch.
Those are
good night.
Otherworldly numbers.
Chuck it up.
It's just not this. I'm sorry, I had to throw that Cole flipping Gregory in there for Cam.
Yeah.
Wait,
he would have done a much better job. I know, really? He never talks about him.
I will say this. I mean, the Yellow Jackets have played really well the last couple of weeks. I mean, they're putting themselves in a better playoff spot than maybe we would have expected.
Yeah. I think they're kind of shedding some of the mistakes they made earlier this year. And, they've got that Westmoreland game next week for playoff seeding. That's going to be big over there.
I tell you what, if they pull that win off, they are going to be the team that nobody wants to see in the playoffs.
It doesn't really do them anything, though, right? Because I mean, there's still 3.
Yeah,
but it builds their confidence up even, that much more.
Like, congratulations, you did this. You get Fayetteville in the first.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. If Westmoreland wins and Smith County beats Monterey, you've got 3 teams with 2 region wins, and they all have 5 overall wins. You'd be looking at a deep tiebreaker.
Jesus.
Oh, my gosh.
There's going to be some massive scoreboard watching going on next week just in case.
AKA Cam.
Yeah.
Right. Hey,
yeah. Give him homework.
That's what he's good at.
Yeah.
Gallatin wins at Springfield 17-7. Knows Kai Brinkley for the Green Wave. He had a hamstring injury. It was in street clothes last night, but the Green Wave get it done on the road. And then, as we saw earlier, their region is now in some chaos after Green Hill lost at Cookeville.
Just a wild race.
Oh my gosh, it's just going to be so fun to watch.
We'll talk more about that this Wednesday on the Mid-State 48 because there's plenty to go through. Mouse doesn't want to work too well this morning. Hendersonville 21-14 winners at Lebanon, and the Commandos get ready for their region title tilt against Henry County next week, proving to 7-2.
Yeah, huge night for Mason Baker. He had 2 touchdown passes to Riley Jordan, but it was a 2-yard run that broke a 14-14 game open with 28 seconds left. Baker was 10 of 28 for 124 and 2, but again, just another great performance by Mason Baker.
Lebanon has a must-win game against Gallatin next week. They can't afford a loss, even though they're in a 4-way tie for second place. But the Blue Devils, they're trying to bounce back now, back-to-back losses to Mount Juliet and Hendersonville in tough fashion. Macon County, no trouble. Watertown 34-0. And the Tigers improved to 8-1 ahead of a game against Stone Memorial next week. That'll be number 2 in Region 4-4A for those 2 teams.
Yeah, a great night for the if your name is Borders. Can you call a one-sided victory a border war? I'm not really sure, but they get 5 rushing TDs to share. Gabe gets 3, Zach gets 2. Defense was stout, especially Hunter Griggs. He had 7 tackles, 3.5 for loss, 2 sacks.
Marion County over Cannon County 42-7. Marion County just keeps rolling 9-0 now.
Yeah.
Cannon County will close the season at 2-8. They have an open date next week. And unfortunately for the Lions, that'll do it for their playoff hopes. They needed to win that game to have any shot. And the upset of the night. Congratulations to the Admirals of Franklin. They break a 22-game losing streak and simultaneously end Mount Juliet's unbeaten bid at the same time. 21-7 for Franklin. Now, we talked to Trey Perry last week, Joe, and he said he was concerned about this game because of the way Franklin had played everybody all year.
Yeah, Franklin's not bad. They were the best.
Newsflash. We've only been saying it all year.
Yep.
We said they would get a victory. We didn't expect it to be this game.
Not only did they get a victory here, when we talked a little bit before the show, there's a good chance they end the season on a win streak.
Yeah, they're at Overton next week. I mean, they're going to be on their big momentum wave right there going into that region game, and they're not going to be in the playoffs, obviously, but it's a great way to close out the year for them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see just how this carries over. How it carries over at Overton, and then how it carries over if they beat Overton, how it carries over into the next year.
Yep.
And if you're Mount Juliet, yeah, it's not great, but you're still reaching.
I'm not a big proponent of the you need to lose something to learn something, but I could see this being a good thing for Mount Juliet. You're not bulletproof.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to play angry from here on out if you want to get where you want to go. I know that Trey Perry probably is not doesn't subscribe to that. He always seems to strive for perfection, but not the worst thing in the world to happen to the Golden Bears at this point in a non-region game.
Ravenwood led this game 12-0. Oakland wins 42-18.
Oakland scored 35 straight.
I was going to say, did Oakland get off the bus? And did they not get off the bus till like the second quarter?
The Patriots just keep on rolling. I mean, after a slow start, it was a good showing for Ravenwood early, but Oakland now 8-1, and they're prepared for that battle against Riverdale next week. While
Oakland cannot start off slow next week.
No, not a bit. No,
and they're the best offense they'll be facing. No disrespect to Ravenwood or anybody they've played. It'll be the most explosive offense they've played all year, and Riverdale will make them pay if they start off slow.
It's probably the right time to learn that lesson too, and right before that game instead of as it's happening.
Yeah.
Well, Oakland defense did a good job holding the Raptors only 63 yards on the ground, 64th of the year. I mean, they pretty much shut them down as 127 yards total.
Mm-hmm.
You remember I told you last week to remember Craig Tutt in this game. He had a 30-yard pick six. So there, I can toot my own horn.
There you go. There you go. Ravenwood's losses are to Alcoa and Oakland. They're going to be okay. They've got Brentwood next week in the Battle of the Woods. And Joe, I think you're going to be over there for that one.
Yep. Scott will be paired up again.
Oh, yay.
Westmoreland shuts out Portland 14-0. The Eagles now 4-5 heading into that all or nothing game with Trousdale County next week. Portland's going to wrap up the season against Hunters Lane at home.
Portland defense putting up a good fight in this one. They, I expected Westmoreland to come out a little bit stronger in this game, coming off of what they, their result last week. But Portland's going to be okay, but this was not their year.
He's made an appearance, folks. Cam is in the chat.
Oh boy. You're a little late, Cam. I already did the Trousdale.
Man's not even going to be watching the game. He's out here talking about balls by 50. Come on.
Oh, he's got a cell phone. Trust me, he'll be watching the game.
Yeah, he will find a way. He may be up there. He may be there in line, having a phone kind of hidden.
Yeah. If you see Cam, be like Ferris Bueller or something. You'll see him in the stands somewhere.
Overton knocks off Stratford 14-8, and Overton getting the second win of the year ahead of that game against Franklin. And Stratford 5-4.
Did not see this one coming.
Yeah, that's kind of a surprising score. The way Stratford has been lighting up the scoreboard lately. Overton having a little bit of say in this.
Yeah.
Stratford now has to go to East Nashville off that loss and try to rebound if they want to do something about that region title race over there. Nolensville 17-14 winners over Summit. They needed to win that game to, put themselves in position to take care of any tiebreakers. But then now it's between Nolensville and Page for that region title.
Guys, have you heard anything on Ty Collins? I was looking at the stat sheet, and he was only in for one pass. I don't know whether he was injured or not. But just according to the stat line, he threw. He was only in for one pass, but a big night for Zion Tamaska, 133 yards on the ground. Defensively, Jackson Bandy, 10 tackles, 2 for loss. Carano, 2 sacks. But that jumped out to me as an kind of a flashed across just on the stat line that I saw. Yeah. I hope that's not the case.
East Robertson 49-21 winners over White House Heritage, and the Indians improved to 8-1 with that non-region win. Heritage drops to 5-4 ahead of that region title tilt with Fairview next week.
Another huge night for Isaiah Groves, 286 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. But more importantly for them, they actually got the passing game going. Casey Young, 170 yards passing with 4 touchdowns.
To the out-of-area scores we go. PGA 51-6 over Webb School. DeKalb County gets a 35-20 win at White County to clinch their playoff spot. Answorth 21-12 winners at Briarcrest. Father Ryan falls at Christian Brothers 18-14. And we talked about this one. Cookville 28, Green Hill 20.
That Cookville team, they've been down, but they've had a couple of big victories here in the last couple of weeks that really makes me wonder just how good that team is.
Yeah, they've created some chaos in that region for sure.
Not bad. They're not bad.
The playoff possibilities in that region are numerous, and we'll talk about those coming up on the Mid-State 48 Wednesday. We're not going to try to break those down now because it's a lot to take in.
Yeah, and Chris is still sleepy.
Yes, very much so. All right, Columbia 38-3 winners over James Lawson. Houston County knocks off Joe Burns 15-14. Baylor shuts out NBA 35-0. Community over Rippling Springs 46-44. And Wilson Central 20-12 winners over Warren County.
Yeah.
Good for Wilson Central ending their losing streak.
Yep. All right, and that, as we say, is that. Quite a loaded week 10, and definitely a lot to take in from that. It's going to be a good weekend to break all that stuff down and see how we're going to approach week 11. But I will tell you this, our spotlight games for week 11, they're going to be 2 because we have Thursday and Friday night games next week, we're hitting up Nolensville Page. And on Friday, we're getting the Battle of the Borough with Riverdale and Oakland. So those are going to be our main games and those winner-take-all games next week. And Joe's going to be at Brentwood Ravenwood on Friday.
With me.
Yep.
Do I get both of you guys this week?
Yeah, evidently we have shared custody.
God, it's my childhood all over again.
I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to cause you any flashbacks.
Wow. I didn't think we'd go there.
Who's your favorite, Joe?
Don't ask me to choose.
It only took an hour and 6 minutes to go off the rails this morning, so well done.
No, those are massive games, guys.
Yeah. Gonna be a fun week. Gonna be a fun week for sure.
Does week 11 have best matchups of the year? I think it does.
Overall, yeah. I think as far as the entire
goes.
And credit to TSSAA for doing this and splitting them up between 2 nights, because now we get to cover more games and some better matchups as well.
Woo!
Hey, I got to figure out where I'm going.
You're the real MVPs.
Hey, now.
I believe that's all the damage we can do for a scoreboard show like that. Last word before we get out of here, guys.
That was a lot.
Oh, you think it's bad this week?
compared to the last 2 weeks, I mean, it feels like so much more.
Hey, at least you didn't have overtime last night, Joe. I mean, take that.
For a while though, I was thinking
it did look like we might be getting that.
I was like, we're going to go to overtime tied at 7. Neither team's going to be able to score. It's going to go to quadruple overtime, tied at 7. Triple overtime, whatever it was. It's early. I'm tired. But yeah, no. I guess my final word: CPA showed that they're the best team in D2AA last night.
Yep.
I mean, it's simple as that. We kind of thought that's how it would be this year. FRA, they'd gotten off to this hot start, but they hadn't played a defense quite like CPA's, and CPA went to CPA defense. That's what they're known for. That's what they do. And last night they really showed that. And I think Cruz Law said it best. They're playing okay right now, but once they get to postseason CPA, that's not a team you want to play.
Yeah, that team is built for November, and they turn into a different animal when that calendar turns to the 11th month. And number 11 said it best last night. So yeah, CPA is going to be hard to handle in that D2AA bracket, and we may see them against FRA again, but it'd be tough.
Yeah, I think that my takeaway from last night is just how good Williamson County is from top to bottom. For a Franklin team to go into to take on Mount Juliet, granted it was at home, and to beat them in that fashion, just speaks to how good. And if they're the bottom, then that's just an outstanding region over there. The football that's played, it seems like Rutherford County is, at one time the cream of the crop, and then Williamson County. This year is one of those years where it looks like the top may be pretty close to equal. It'll be really interesting to see if the best of Williamson and the best of Rutherford get to face off.
I saw what I needed to see out of Smyrna's offense last night. They have not shown me anything through 9 weeks that told me that they were going to win a region title. But when they needed it the most, their offense stepped up. And that's what good teams can do, that when they need to. And, I don't know how far Smyrna is going to go, because they're going to match up with that Williamson County region like Scott just talked about. But their defense is going to make them a dangerous out. And Antioch, we're going to be talking about them for the next couple of years, because they've got young talent. They've got a young head coach who is building them up the right way. And we'll talk about the Bears in seasons to come, and they have a chance to make some noise. So
I agree with you there, Chris. That was two of the best coaches, I think, two of the best coaches in the mid-state there.
All right. Well, folks, thanks for joining us for the 615 Preps Scoreboard presented by Fifth Year Technology Concepts. Cam will be back with us on Wednesday on the Mid-State 48 and 7 p.m. on these same platforms that you watch this show. So for Scott, for Joe, and for everybody here at 615 Preps, have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.